Hello YouTube, Lyricise17 here, but you can just call me Travis, and welcome back to another edition of Up Next on the Shelf, the video series where we take a look and see what's up next on the shelf. It's been a while since I've done one of these, mostly because I was kind of intimidated by what was up next on the shelf, and you know, the fact that I was going to have to talk about it. Like I said, it intimidated me a little bit, but you know what? Let's just do it. In the background, we are listening to Sons of Crom, The Black Tower. This was like my number 14, 15, something like that. Album of the year last year. Super, super good. Plays a style very similar to the band I'll be talking about in this video. So if you like what you hear in the background, and you have not listened to the band I'm talking about, which, I mean, probably most of you have, but you never know. If you haven't, check them out. Alright, so as the series goes, I pick the next 10 about on the shelf, and we talk about them. In this case, all 10 are the same artist, and that artist is Bathory. Yes, Quarathon. Bathory is one of my favorite bands of all time. Love Bathory. Think the discography is, for the most part, flawless. So many great albums, and then so many just really good albums. Kind of spans several genres over the career, in terms, even like quasi creating genres. I know people will debate that, but I think that's true. Let's just get into it. First album. This is the debut, self-titled Bathory. This is a really good one. First wave black metal release. Right up there with your Celtic Frosts and your Motorhead wasn't really black metal, but they were playing similar stuff, just maybe without the evil and they were less rocky and more dungeony. But yeah, I really like this release a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's the GOAT. Yeah, self-titled Bathory. Really into this one. I will admit right off the bat that my favorite material by Bathory is more of the Viking era stuff, but doesn't matter. This one still is a black metal classic. Self-titled Bathory. And then obviously the following album is Bathory's Return. Just like its predecessor, it's playing awesome first wave black metal. This one has a little bit more sort of like a traditional black metal, I guess we could say, but it's still mostly playing that that evil Motorhead thing. And yeah, it's awesome. Again, the Viking era is more my bag, but I gotta, I still enjoy these first few records quite a lot. And yeah, The Return, Bathory. This next one is actually the first Bathory album that I ever purchased. So it's the first one that I ever owned, or that I ever listened to in full. And that is Under the Sign of the Black Mark. This is the third album by Bathory, and I love... Take it out of this. I love this album cover. I think that it is amazing, because it's right on the edge of like cheese and like doesn't go over it, so it's amazing. But yeah, funnily enough, if that's funnily is a word, the song Chariots of Fire, back in the early days of downloading, my brother and I had downloaded that song, but it was labeled under Burzum, so for I don't know how long, for at least months, if not a year or more, we thought Chariots of Fire was a Burzum song. So take that how you will. Love this album. Even though this isn't a Viking era album, this one still ranks up pretty high for me. Part of it's probably because it's my first one, but part of it's also because of some amazing songs. Woman of Dark Desires, love that song. the aforementioned Chariots of Fire, Acromanthorn. That one's awesome. Yeah, I mean, this is just a freaking black metal classic. Love this album. Under the Sign of Black Mark. Alright, this next one. This was one that I had seen the cover and the album for years, and I kick myself now for never having bought it, but just never did for whatever reason. This was Quorthon's first real venture into the Viking era kind of stuff, and that is his fourth album, that is Blood, Fire, Death. Yeah, I first, and to be honest, I should have picked up this one much faster, because I had the Emperor album that had the cover of A Fine Day to Die, and yeah, so I'm an idiot. Classic Bathory album, super great. The aforementioned Fine Day to Die, great song. For all those who died, the title track, Holocaust, Peace Till Death, The Golden Walls of Heaven. I mean, classic Bathory album. And I love the Viking painting is the album art. I think that really works for this theme and aesthetic that Quorthon was going for. Alright, the next one up, this is probably my favorite Bathory album, and that is Hammerheart. Yeah, I love this album. Father to Son, probably my favorite Bathory song. One Road to Acid Bay, also probably maybe even number 2. But every other song, you know, Valhalla, Baptized in Fire and Ice, Song to Holopai. Again, just a classic Bathory album. You know, again, my favorite Bathory album. Love this one. Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, this is probably the one that has some of my favorite Quorthon soloing as a whole. Not that he doesn't awesomely solo on, like, all the albums, but, this one I just feel like they're a little bit, as an album whole, just really strong. And yeah, I mean, just Quorthon soloing in general for me is super cool. It's sort of similar to his singing. I wouldn't say necessarily because his soloing is bad, like his vocals are sort of, you know, bad. They're just sort of his soloing is just full of like feeling, and that's sort of how his vocals are. And yeah, super love this album, Hammerheart, Bathory. Next up, this is Twilight of the Gods. Another awesome, great, superb Viking era. Here we go, Bathory solo. Even though this isn't Bathory. But yeah, another great Viking era album from our guy Quorthon. I don't need to show you this. Yeah, just, you know, another great album of great songs. You know, at this point he wasn't really, you know, breaking the mold of what he'd been doing the last couple albums, but you know, that doesn't really matter. Just, you know, some great songs, particularly the title track on this one. Really like that one. But yeah, just another great Bathory Viking era album. Yeah. Then, if you were to follow Bathory's discography, you would get the albums Octagon and Requiem. I do not own those, largely because their reputation is like they're super bad and I shouldn't listen to them. And I really believe it. I think it's probably true, as I will explain coming up here later. But let's before we do that, let's move on. So yeah, Requiem and Octagon I do not have. But okay, so next up, interestingly, this is actually one of my, I love this. This is one of my favorite music trivia facts. But yeah, this next one up is Bathory's Blood on Ice. This is right up there, probably maybe my second favorite album. Like I mentioned, I love a trivia fact about this album. This actually was an album that was largely recorded in, I think, '89. It was between Blood, Fire, Death and Hammerheart when he recorded this. So like right in like the apex of when Bathory was really, jumping into that Viking era stuff. And so yeah, I mean, largely recorded in that year, even though it came out later in like 94 or 95 or something, 96. Anyway, it was recorded several years earlier, and so I kind of like that idea already of like albums being like kind of a snapshot of like that specific time period. And so having largely been recorded several years earlier, I think that was what makes this album so awesome, because it was during that apex of him like really defining that Viking era sound. I also sort of like the idea of someone who's a big Bathory fan, and they find out this album's coming out, particularly after Requiem and Octagon, if they listened to those and did not like them, and being like, wait, what? When did this album came out? When? He wrote this between Blood, Fire, Death and Hammerheart? Oh, yes! And yeah, and then buying the album and probably having their minds blown. Because this album, like I said, awesome. Love it. Super, super great song. The Wood Woman and The Lake, probably my favorite back-to-back songs on a Bathory album. Love those songs in particular, but the whole album is amazing. A super, super great Viking era album by Bathory. Highly recommended. And then the album he released after this one, unfortunately, I did buy. This one is called Destroyer of Worlds. And yeah, I gotta say, this album, not good. Just feels super lackluster, like no lazy, I don't know, like it's like he just like shit out some songs, like I don't know, not good, not at this point, barring the Octagon and Requiem, which I had not heard, the guy has like already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 albums that I think are awesome. Wait, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so 8 albums that I think are awesome, and then this one's not. So my standards for what Quorthon can do are pretty high, and this doesn't even remotely come close. So yeah, if you like those other albums, I don't recommend checking out this one unless you're just want to be complete in your discography, which I sort of can understand that. But moving on, and interestingly enough, he rebounded and released 2 awesome albums, Nordland and Nordland II. Nordland being obviously the first one that he released. A solid Viking era style album from Quorthon. I probably wouldn't say it's near the top of my list for those style albums, but I still like it a lot. Super, still, one of my favorite all-time bands. So even the ones I don't like as much, I still think are pretty good outside of the Destroyer of Worlds one. Not good. Don't listen to that one. But yeah, this one, super, super good. But actually, I like Nordland II significantly more. This one's probably, if Blood on Ice isn't my number 2 Bathory album, this is probably my number 2 Bathory album. Really, really, really into this one. Seawolf, great song. Love that song. Yeah, this is just, from top to bottom, another just classic, awesome Viking era Bathory album. Just awesome riffing, just a grandiose feeling overall, awesome heartfelt cleans, some black metal vocals thrown in for good measure, soloing that's just like full of feeling and just like huge monstrous notes. Yeah, Bathory, amazing artist. I can't speak highly enough of Bathory's material outside of Destroyer Worlds and probably Octagon and Requiem. But you know what? Even without those releases, I guess it's 10. Is it 10 albums? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10. No, 10. Oh, it's because I have Sons of Crom there. So 9 albums by Bathory that I think are all 8s or better. Most of them are 9s or better, and quite a few of them are probably 10 out of 10 for me. Just an amazing discography. If you've never really dived deep into Bathory, I really recommend it. Don't think of Bathory as just a band that everyone knows, like a Dark Throne, or an Iron Maiden, or a Judas Priest, or whoever. Sort of take a look at why those bands are have the status that they do, because they have freaking awesome discographies. So Bathory's no different. Check them out. Awesome stuff. I'm gonna stop babbling now, and yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're familiar with any of these releases, please let me know what you think of them. And also, if you've listened to Octagon and Requiem and you like them, let me know why I should check them out. Or if you've listened to Requiem and Octagon and you think that they're terrible, please let me know that I should continue not listening to them. Otherwise, yeah, have a good day.